Hey everyone, it's Kat Soper here from The Helpful Brand, and welcome to another episode of App of the Week, where I show you an app that could very well help you inside your business. So this week's app is a really popular one. It is possible that you might even be using this app inside your business at the moment. But the reason that I've chosen this app to do this week, even though I know a lot of you will already be using it, is because it's brand month over at The Helpful Brand this month, where I'm focusing on helping you develop a really strong brand. So this week I thought I would give you a bit of a sneak peek behind the scenes inside my own personal account and talk you through the difference between a free and a pro account so that you can really weigh up which option is best for you. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some top tips into how to get the most out of your account. Without further ado, let's jump on over and I'll show you inside my Canva. So first of all, let's have a look at the pricing for Canva. As most of you know, there is a free option, so you can do heaps for free inside Canva. It is really good like that. But the Canva Pro is what I recommend for most businesses. Unless you're really strapped for cash, I'm a firm believer in that the Canva Pro account will save you time and money in the long run. Now, I'm not saying that because I'm getting affiliate commission for this video. I'll just put that up there now because there's no such thing as affiliate commission for Canva. I just know and strongly believe that Canva Pro is really worthwhile for businesses who are creating a lot of content in their business. So the differences between the two plans are that Canva Pro has unlimited folders for your designs, and once you see inside my Canva you'll understand what I'm talking about there. The second thing that's really important is that it allows you to upload custom fonts and save color palettes, which is a serious time saver for when you're actually creating your artwork. And then third, the other thing that I want to draw your attention to is that it allows you to download designs with a transparent background, which can be really, really useful. And for only $12.95 US, which I think is about $22 New Zealand, it's one of those tools in your business that is going to allow you to do so much and save so much time for such a small investment. Let's jump over into my own Canva account. Now, those of you who already use Canva will know that you can create all kinds of images and artwork through the system. All you need to do is choose the size that you need and click on it and you can open it up. And as you can see, we can scroll through and there's so many different sizes, it's unreal. But today I'm just going to click this Instagram post, which is the size that I probably use most often. Now once we're in here, we can choose to go through with one of their templates that they have here. And these can be a great way to start, but here's why I don't think that you should rely on and use these regularly. The thing about creating a strong brand is that you want people to be able to scroll through their feed, see the image as they're scrolling, and immediately know that that's your brand. That's what I believe having a strong brand is. For somebody to give it that scroll test. In fact, for example, they're scrolling through and they see it and they go, oh, let's check out what Kat's doing, for example. So if you flick between all of these different templates all of the time, you're not going to be able to create that really strong, impacting brand. Whereas if you spend some time coming up with a few templates from the beginning that you reuse over and over again, you use the same fonts, the same colorway and the same kind of layouts, then you will really create that impactful brand. For example, if we have a look at my feed, you'll notice if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook that my quotes always look the same. I always have the same font, the same part of my logo, and it's always black writing, or my font black writing on a white background. And that means that as someone's scrolling, they can immediately recognize that this is my brand. So I would recommend only choosing a maximum of 3 fonts that you use all the time. If we have a look at my fonts, under here brand fonts, I have a heading font, I have a subheading font, and then I have a copy font. Those are the 3 fonts that I stick to. Actually, I lie. I also have a feature font, and that's this one here. So I actually have 4 fonts that I use constantly, but most of the time I'm using 2 in at one time. Another good example here is if we have a look at my lead magnet covers. So my lead magnet covers use exactly the same template. All I'm doing each time is I'm dropping in a different photo. I'm changing the color to one of my other brand colors, is picking one of the colors out of the photo. So not only does that mean that I am creating a strong brand look, but it's also way easier for me creating the content, right? Because I'm not rethinking the wheel each time. Oh, what cover would look good? I'm simply thinking, oh, what is a really good feature photo that I can use? And then the rest just comes together so quickly. So a couple of things that I just wanted to show you now that we've learned how to use the templates there, and I've talked to you about creating a set of templates for your own brand, is just a few visual tips and tools to help you really create images that are going to stand out and look well designed. One of the things that I see people do a lot is getting the white space balance wrong. And what I mean by that is I'll see, and they've got their text here, for example, and you can see here that the red space between the top of the writing and the top of the box and the bottom of the box and the bottom of the writing are not the same, which leaves it just looking a little lopsided, right? So what we want to try and do is always make sure that your white space is equal. Likewise, that doesn't look so good because the gap between here and here and the gap between here and here are so different. So what I'm wanting to do is make sure that the gap between this tip of the arrow and when my words start, and when my words start and the end of the box are about the same. Another example is logos. So what I often see people do is have a white box around their logo, when actually if you can have a transparent background against your logo, it will look a lot better. So using an appropriate colored logo, so you can see that if I was to use my normal logo here, it just wouldn't stand out unless I had it over the white, which would just look odd. So what I can do instead is I can have my white logo, and let's just make it a little bit smaller so that it's still there. And again, I've got the same amount of white space here as I have between the bottom of the writing. Another place I could have it is up here so that it stands out a bit, but to me that just looks a little funny. So I'm going to Control Z and undo and have it like that. Now once you've finished your image, all you need to do is come up here and name it something useful. Now this is another thing that's important to get right. You want to name it something useful, right? So if it's a quote, I would actually put the whole quote in there. And if you're uploading this to your website, it's particularly important because you want to make sure that it's a keyword rich and really appropriate name, so that when you upload it, it's good for your search engine optimization. Just in general, because as you can see, you can start to get a lot of things really quickly. But if I have a look for boss, then it'll bring up all of my designs with the word boss in. So that's why it's important to name your things something useful rather than just image one. You can see, it has actually brought up a few options, but it's really hard. It gets messy quickly and it's hard to find things without scrolling through and just spending a long time looking for them. So that's my top tip. Make sure that you name it something useful, and then we can download it. So we've got a few different options. We've got a few different image options, and we've got a few different PDF options. And with the paid option, you can even make that an animation so that it moves, which is kind of cool. Just something a bit different for helping people stop scrolling when it's in their feed. Last but not least, I wanted to talk you through the folders, which is again one of the paid Canva options. So if we go to my uploads, you can see all of your uploads here by scrolling through. But with the paid option, you can set up lots of folders and actually have things grouped into like, which just saves so much time. So it's much easier to find something useful. Like say I'm doing a post about money, I've got all of my money ones that I use regularly inside this folder here, so that I can just drag and drop. So those are my top tips for using Canva. So one last thing I wanted to show you is that I've created a brand checklist, 26 steps to creating a strong brand, and just easy checklist, 26 things that you can tick off and make sure that you've done. So if that's of interest, I'm going to put the link to that below this video. Otherwise, I will see you back here next week for another app of the week.